Morning folks, well we've just driven from our campsite up to the side of Mt Stanley. We're about to start hiking up to find the crash site of a Brewster Buffalo single-seat fighter aircraft from the 1940s. So this aircraft was in Australia during the Second World War. It was actually originally a Dutch East Indies aircraft, but when the Japanese started invading countries through the South Pacific, it actually got taken back by the US Army Air Corps, which is the precursor to the US Air Force. And then when it came and crashed here, it was piloted by a US pilot. So I'll give you a bit of details about the pilot and the circumstance of the crash when we get up to the site. But we've got a couple of 100 meters worth of hiking up a quite steep angle here, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, get lost in the bush. Calculating.
Stop. Take regular breaks. I need to drink. We're only about halfway, but I can still see the car down there, so it's definitely a steep slope, this one. I reckon it's as steep, if not steeper, than the Beaufort bomber climb that I did. So the legs are burning, but we're halfway, so that was only about 10 minutes worth of walking, so we should be there in another 10 minutes if we can keep up the same pace.
On the 1st of July 1942, US Army Air Corps pilot 2nd Lieutenant Henry Orous Null Jnr. was tasked to fly from RAF Base Laverton just outside of Melbourne, Victoria, to the RAF Base at Wagga Wagga, New South Wales. The aircraft he would be piloting was a Brewster F2A Buffalo, a single-engine fighter aircraft designed for aircraft carrier-based operations. It was known by pilots as the Flying Coffin, due to being severely outmatched by the Japanese Zeros. The circumstances of how Henry and his aircraft came to crash on Mt Stanley are not known, whether due to navigation error, bad weather, or engine problems. It's yet another wartime mystery that may never be solved. What we do know is that Henry died serving his country and the country of Australia, and for that we should thank him.
Alrighty folks, looks like we've come across our first bit of the aircraft debris here, and it looks to be a piece of fuselage. We've got a bit of thin aluminium skin here. Now what I can see from this section that's riveted on the inside of it, it's got a bit of a V shape, and considering we're most likely at the bottom end of the crash site here, I would say that this is part of the empennage section, or even right at the base of the either the vertical or horizontal stabilizers, because they would need to be a bit more beefed up around those areas because they're quite high stress areas. So, and you can see here that we've got remnants even of the paint still on the skin of the aircraft there, so that's really interesting. So we'll keep heading up slope here and see what other parts of the aircraft we can find.
There's a bit there. Another bit of the skin. Cool, I'll keep an eye on it so I don't miss it. Right, what have we got here? Well, that feels a bit thicker, this stuff. Could be, actually the way it's shaped, could even be part of a wheel well for the retractable undercarriage, or it could be, you see it's got these formers pressed into it. So I'd say it was some sort of circular type shape. Could even be part of the engine protection structure for the fuselage, because it's quite a bit thicker than the skin parts that we found before. Just remember too, while I'm walking through here, I'm going to put everything back where I found it, because as I said with the Beaufort crash site, it's basically a war grave, so we're going to be really respectful while we're here, try not to disturb anything.
Alright, Louisa spotted another part just up here. We're actually seeing quite a few parts now. Another bit of skin. Oh yeah. Let's got another bit of skin there. You can see it's torn right at that rivet line there, which gives it that pattern. And just imagine with the force of the impact, like you can see the size of the debris that's left over. It's just absolutely decimated this aircraft. I'd say with the steep slope that he's come in at a really steep angle and just speared it in here, unfortunately. Yeah, you can see the sort of country that he's coming in. Alright, let's keep looking at some other parts. This one looks like an access panel because it's got these Zuz fasteners here. Zuz fasteners have been around for decades and decades. You can see there you've got these little quick disconnect little fasteners here, and it's quite a light panel, so it's obviously like an access panel for like a radio bay or some sort of servicing bay. Another piece over here, we're going to have a look at that. Ooh, okay, I reckon this is part of the engine or some sort of ducting. You can see there it's got a bit of a flange around the top there, and it's actually a different, I think it's still aluminium, but it just looks like it's a piece of ducting that's just been blown apart, because it's got a rounded shape to it, and I can see for the rest of it it's got the little strengtheners formed into it as well. So it could either be the aft wheel well, or one of the wheel wells, or it's actually a piece of exhaust or some sort of ducting. Oh, there's a little flag up there. Someone's flagged it.
I noticed that.
Here we go. More parts of skin. Oh, this one's quite heavy. That is really heavy. Now that's either part of the wing root structure. You see how the skin's pressed together, and it's quite a bit thicker than the skin here. Yeah, my guess would be that that's actually part of the wing, and it's part of the wing root or some structural form or part of that of the wing. Oh, here we go. This looks like it's part of the engine support structure. That's actually like a steel chromoly or mild steel. I'd say it's probably steel chromoly, because mild steel would have rotted away years ago, but that's actually really, really heavy. And you can see these are the attach points that the engine would have bolted onto. It's cool to find a bit of that. This one here is most definitely part of the wing structure. It's really heavy, really quite thick. It's probably where the inner and outer sections of the wing join together, because you can see there's this quite thick bulkhead here where the two sections are joining together. That's interesting, the way that metal there is rotted away on top of it. Almost looked like a piece of wood.
Yeah, I know it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay, now this is definitely engine part. Definitely engine part, because you can see how it's been exposed to heat. Here the metal's discoloured, and it's a different a metal. I dare say that this would most definitely be part of a exhaust ducting, or definitely part of an engine. There's some ducting coming off it too, maybe for like a supercharger or something like that. It's metal, but it's a flexible ducting. If we're finding engine parts here, we're probably quite close to the front end of the wreck. Well, someone's actually flagged it here for us too, so we might be right at the top of it. You can see a definite line of debris there, but can't really see anything further out than that. So yeah, I'd say the aircraft's come down in this section here, which is interesting that we can't see more sort of stuff out wide, which would indicate where the wings were. I mean, the wings could have come off as the aircraft hit the trees on the way in. And they could be, God knows where they could be. Alrighty folks, well I think it's about time that we start the hike back down. You can see the road. I can actually hear a car at the moment going past our vehicle. It's starting to get quite windy, so we best get off the mountain, I think. Don't want a tree dropping on us, but hopefully it should be a much quicker trip downhill, but I reckon the cars will be burning, that's for sure. Now my quads are burning. Actually, let's go over here. There's an easier way to get down. Don't want to do a knee right at the last bit. Alright, we made it back down the slope. How long did it take us, Louise?
14:48.
14:48 to come down, and how long did it take us going up?
I don't know.
Probably about like 25 or something like that.
Yeah, half an hour.
It was only, in physical distance, it was probably about 150, 200 metres, so way easier than the Beaufort climb, but steeper though. So I might take the opportunity to sign off here, guys, because we've got to get going to go and rescue my mum from the kids. Again, if you're watching, Mum, Shez Tilson, thanks again for looking after the kids overnight. We're coming to rescue you right now. Now, I did mention earlier that the coordinates for this crash site were quite hard to find, and I had to do a lot of research and even join a geocaching website to get the GPS location. So what I'm going to do is I'll link it in the description below, and I'll put the GPS coordinates in, so that if you want to come here, you can come and visit it. But the only thing I ask, guys, is if you do come here, be really respectful. Don't take any of the parts away with you, because we want to respect the memory of Henry and how he came to be here, because he was a serviceman and crashed in the line of duty. So just be really respectful there. Have a look at the parts, pick them up, but put them back where you found them. That's all I ask. So once again, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and look out for more adventures from All Things Outdoors. Thanks guys, see you later.